had to get back on the road for a little bit, take a little drive, clear the head, get away from the news because I cannot stop checking my phone and the TV and the websites. It's so overwhelming right now. I'm going to try to clear my head for a little bit and just enjoy the day. As God knows, we are right now. An ostrich ranch. An ostrich ranch. I didn't even know that was a thing, especially not in the desert. It's an ostrich ranch and hand-feed stingrays. Two things that you probably wouldn't think go together. But also, I really want to stop. I won't because of the coronavirus and I don't want to be around people. But feeding stingrays and seeing ostriches at the same time sounds like my ideal day. Much like a lot of our LGBTQ history, it's not really documented. But one of the triggering events in Tucson was, like too many of our historical events, was a tragedy. Richard Heakin was a 21-year-old guy who was visiting Tucson. He was hanging out at a gay bar, Stonewall Tavern, coincidentally named, when he was attacked and murdered outside. Unfortunately, the murderers got away with it and were only put on probation. However, that was the catalyst for the gay rights movement in Tucson. It was this event that led the community to gather together and create anti-discrimination measures for Tucson and Arizona. So although it was a horribly tragic event that we all wish wouldn't happen, especially since it's still happening today, our community once again rose up and fought back for their rights. So although it's just this little plaque, this little bench outside of City Hall, the Richard Heakin Memorial is just as important as anything else. And it feels good for me to be able to come to one of the cities that isn't one of the major coastal LGBT hotspots and be able to pay my respects to those that paved the way for us. This is a good way to see how far we've come as a community since 1976. You know, we have the laws now, the anti-discriminatory laws. We have rights that protect us, at least in most places. But we don't want to wait for more tragic events to happen before we pass protection laws. There was an upside down triangle on Richard Heakin's memorial. And for those that don't know, the upside down pink triangle was a symbol that the Nazis used for anybody that they thought was LGBT. So they would put the triangle on them to identify who was queer. But in modern times, we've taken back that symbol as an LGBTQ safe symbol. I got it tattooed on my arm, upside down triangle. This one has a rainbow in it. Now the symbol is being used to show a safe space for LGBTQ people. So if you see that symbol outside of a door or outside of a bar, that symbolizes that it's a safe zone. In a lot of places now, we don't really need it because we can write gay bar on places, or we can write gay whatever. But you know, back in the day when things were underground and had to be secretive, that symbol was used to show that it was a safe space without having to say that this is a gay place. It's a symbol that means a lot to our community, and it's crazy to think how long it's been used and for how many different reasons.
Go to sleep, all the good times are yours to keep, recalling the threads of the love you know. This is the sound to be tuned into. What your heart tells you is where you need to be. What your heart tells you is
The city actually looks a lot like a Portland or a Seattle. Everything's pretty, this looks like a liberal oasis really, in a state that's like full of Trump flags and that kind of jazz. So this is really nice to come see this and get away from that. Not to mention it's very LGBTQ friendly. I'm like really pleasantly surprised by Tucson. It's so nice and I don't know, there's like art everywhere. There's a ton of construction, which is usually pretty good, especially if it's apartments. But I don't know, it's just like really relaxing and it feels welcoming. And I don't know. I like it. I like it a lot more than I thought I would. Okay, but like, being in Tucson just keeps reminding me of that TV show, The Last Man on Earth, where he keeps making signs saying "Alive in Tucson." And every time I saw that, I just kept thinking, if you're the last man on Earth, and there's no one else in the US, why would you choose to settle in Tucson? Now I can kind of see it's a cool area. If I was the last man on Earth, I probably wouldn't be here though. Would definitely take a mansion on the West Coast in Los Angeles. That's good.